Hi everybody, back with another coding example. This is a game I wrote for the Commodore VIC-20 based on the Commodore BASIC that comes with the computer. It's a game called Missile Commander, and for those of you that have been following my channel, you'd know that a couple of weeks ago I featured one that I wrote in Quick Basic 4.5 using the QB64 emulator. So let's open the game in QB64. And compile it. What's nice about this emulator is it creates an exe file as well. Now let's quickly do a demo. And you can take a look at what I've done in Commodore VIC-20 BASIC based on this game. So anyway, I think you get the idea. So let's have a look at the game I wrote for the Commodore VIC-20, also using BASIC, following the same logic and structure of this program. So yeah, we've got the VIC-20 emulator. It's called VICE, and I'm just going to mount the drive. This is similar to mounting a floppy drive. And I'm going to be loading Missile 64, which is the version I'd like to show you. (8). So it's accessing the floppy drive, all emulated though, and it's loaded the game. Typical Commodore VIC-20 display this as well, so let's run it. One disadvantage, if you could call it that, of the VIC-20 and its architecture is that the screen resolution is not as high as it is in QBasic 4.5 or MS Basic. We've only got 22 columns by about 22 rows, whereas in Quick Basic 4.5 we've got 80 columns by about 23 rows. So this screen is only about a quarter the size of Quick Basic 4.5, which is a bit of a challenge. And I've emulated the random star field in the background. I've got the little drone moving from left to right, and the row of missiles at the bottom of the screen as well. As I say, following the same sort of structure and logic of the 4.5 game. So let's see if I can hit one of these critters. And as you can see, this BASIC is a lot slower. And we'll go through the game itself, show you the differences between the QB 4.5 version and this one. So we'll just concentrate on trying to hit one of these. It's a lot slower than the other version. There we go, got it. Also, the high score isn't saved to a file, so when you do quit this game, the high score is also wiped. So let's just try and hit another one of these little drones. Another disadvantage is that when you do see one appear at the top of the screen, there just isn't enough time to get up there to strike one of these for points. You've got to really wait until it's quite low down. But you get the idea. It's very similar to the IBM basic version I showed you. I'll include links to all the reference material in the description below, and this is where you can download that emulator. There's versions for Windows, Linux, Mac and Chrome OS. There's that little shop where you can buy some of their material to support their efforts. The VIC-20 or Commodore 64 emulator you can download at this page, and I'll include the link as well. The program's called VICE, standing for Versatile Commodore Emulator. These guys are regularly updating this emulator, and you can download it from this page as well. Also for various platforms. Awesome little emulator this as well. And I'll show you towards the end of the video how easy it is to open the cartridge games or the programs that were supplied on cartridge in VICE, and you can run all those games using your VICE emulator. You don't need a VIC-20 or a Commodore 64. Mind you, I think this supports up to the C128 as well. Even the older PET models. Really awesome. Okay, so here's the VIC-20 manual. Scroll down to the peek and poke memory map. This is where we've got a major difference between Quick Basic or IBM Basic as opposed to Commodore Basic. Instead of using locate Y, X, we're using poke and peek, which is a more efficient way of doing it in this basic anyway. It's a lot quicker. So there's the memory map. So here we've got the initialization of the screen, where I clear the screen, printing the character 147, poking 36879,27, which gives you this light blue border with the white screen in the middle. Then I set up a couple of variables. So printing the control character S moves the cursor to the top left. QQ moves the cursor down 2 rows, and then I'm printing the game instructions, and then I'm reading from the keyboard, get $1. If no key is pressed, it stays in that loop. When you press a key, it goes to the next line. So yeah, I'm referencing the random star field 80 times just to give you some stars in the background on the screen. And here we got the main game loop, setting up the direction and height of the drones, depending on the variable dr, either being a 1 or a 0, the drone will move from the left to the right or from the right to the left. So let's have a look at the case where dr is 0. We go sub 100. And yeah, we're moving the drone across the screen from left to right. So So I'm poking to the position 7702 plus 22, which means it's this row, the second row at the top, multiplying it by h, which is a random number, so it can appear anywhere in this area of the screen, and we're moving it from left to right. So when you increment 7702 with 22, obviously it will go to row 3. And then to set up the color of the characters, we can also poke to memory locations directly, in this case -6, which is this dark blue color. Also the same coordinates as the little character. And then when the little drone reaches the right hand side of the screen, we print a little space to clear it. So let's check out the subroutine at line 4000. In this subroutine we generate a random height for the little drone, as well as whether it will be moving left to right or right to left. And then at line 5000 we've got the random star field generating a x and y coordinate, and then depending on the state of ASCII, we either print a little star or a space. So this is constantly running in the background as well, just for a sense of something happening there in the background, not just having the little drone moving across the screen. So let's go back to the main loop. And go sub 1000 will be the next subroutine that's called. And this is where we're firing off missiles. We're reading from the keyboard, and if you press F, we move the missile up vertically to the top of the screen with the character 93, and then also with the color of 6, which is this dark blue color. So as the missile moves up towards the top, we print a little space behind it, giving the illusion that it's a little missile going up to the top of the screen. And this is where I check whether I've hit the drone or not using a peek statement, looking at the memory map where the missile is located, and checking if the character there is a drone or a space or a star. So let's check out the next couple of lines. So if it's equal to 60 or 62, that's either smaller than or greater than sign, then it means we've hit one of the drones. And we go up to 2000. We also increment the hit score with 1. We'll have a look at what happens at line 2000 in a bit. Next line, so when the missile gets to the top row over here, we clear it with a little space, and we increment the miss counter with 1, and we return to the main game loop. And also in this subroutine, we constantly reference the drone to make sure that the drone and the missile keep moving together. So let's check out the next couple of lines. So the drone's been hit. We run this subroutine located at 2000, goes up 600, is updating the score. We'll just check that line. We'll check this subroutine in a moment. What we do is we print a little V character to the screen and we move it down to the bottom, which is 8141. That area there in the memory map. Let's check out the subroutine located at line 600, which updates the score. And I'm using a normal print statement. The control character S moves the cursor to the top left, where we print hit, and its variable miss, its variable, as well as the high score with the initials and the high score obtained. So let's go back to the main loop. So we've covered the subroutines that move the drones in these two lines, 20 and 21. We've gone to line 1000, that subroutine which fires off the missiles. We've covered the star field random generator, which is located at line 5000. And then over here we're checking if all the missiles have been fired. If so, the score is updated, and we go to line 3000. So let's see what happens at line 3000. Okay, there are a couple of lines too many to show you over there, so let's reduce that number a bit. Okay, we're clearing the screen again, printing character 147, updating the score by going to subroutine located at line 600. And yeah, we're checking if a new high score has been obtained, and if so, we go to line 304, special character again, locating the cursor to the top left, going down 4 rows with those Qs where we print new high score, and we give the user the opportunity to enter 3 initials, obviously limiting it here in this line 3007 to 3 characters only. Otherwise we just don't have enough space to display the initials in the top row. And then we prompt the user whether they want to play again, yes or no. So that's the program briefly. Very similar to the version that I wrote in QB64 using the Quick Basic 4.5 emulator. So the major differences really is this memory map, where you can poke characters directly to the memory locations in RAM, and then also you can set up the colors of those characters with the associated color code memory map. And also in the VIC manual you can see which characters to poke or peek from these memory locations. And this manual is one of the best that I've come across. Just check out the examples. If you don't know anything about programming, they start at the very, very beginning, giving you examples and an explanation of each of the commands. So you can teach yourself how to program in CBM Basic version 2. Okay, so let's have a look at how you can load some of the games that were released on VIC-20 cartridges in the 80s. I created a subdirectory called ROMs in the WinVice folder, into which I've copied the ROMs. They're just a convenient placeholder to keep all these games. So let's go and load one of these, show you how it works. Go to File, Attach Cartridge Image, Generic Image, and in the ROMs directory, there you go. We've loaded Omega Race, and you can see it's running over there. So I don't want to go into playing the games themselves, so you can check that out when you get the opportunity. So you don't need a VIC-20 computer to run these games. You can use the VICE emulator. It works very, very well. So I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this video and this little game. I'll include a link to the download where you can download the program for yourself in the video description below, and you can open it up in VICE emulator, play around with the code if you like, and you can also run the game from there. So I think that concludes this video. I'll be back with more Mars anomalies and Moon anomalies in the next one, so I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.